excitement into words right now. The biggest Palestine event in Europe is officially happening. And to me, this is very special, as it should be for all of us. So, at the end of the day, we have all come together for one purpose and one purpose only. And I am certain that Palestine Expo will be the major platform pushing to end the oppression of the Palestinian people. So, I'd like to thank the organisers, Friends of Al-Aqsa, and all our supporters. And most importantly, I'd like to thank you for coming together and showing your solidarity for Palestine. And I'm very honoured to have the platform to speak here today. Thank you very much. So I'd like to begin by simply sharing with you my personal experience and my story. So last year I was nominated by my English teacher to take part in the Jack Petrie Speak Out Challenge, the largest competition for young people in the world. The competition involved giving students the opportunity to speak about any subject that they felt strongly about. Hence why I decided to speak about something I truly had a passion for, Palestine. I submitted a speech entitled Birds Not Bombs, and it won with applause and without any objection from my audience. Personally, I really wanted to spread the message of the reality of Palestine, but at the same time I was also celebrating my culture. After winning the regional Speak Out competition, I was extremely proud of my achievement. But this happy moment was then hijacked by online trolls who were out there to discredit me. They bombarded my school Twitter, which had to be shut down, and this left me distraught. Following on, they bombarded my Twitter, which left me distraught. But I was determined not to fall. And although they went online and even created videos labelling me to be the good little ISIS girl, I was not ready to back down. So my speech was emphatically opposed to racism and discrimination, calling for freedom and peace. But after my video had gone viral, pro-Israel trolls then accused me of vicious blood libels against Israel, and I was subjected to a barrage of online abusive comments and videos. From being called Little Miss ISIS, an immigrant scum, an ISIS recruiter who needs to be burnt alive, an evil anti-Semitic KKK Nazi schoolgirl who needs to be jailed permanently. I mean, I can go on and on and on. The amount of vile hate and abuse received was just disgusting. So I felt downhearted after receiving all those nasty messages, but anyone would. And the main point of why I have decided to share these hateful and appalling comments with you today is because I have realised and I have learned that no matter what you do or say, people will always judge, people will always go against, and people will always have an opposing view. But that should never stop anyone from standing up and speaking out, standing up for justice and speaking the truth. My empathy for the suffering in Palestine does not make me anti-Semitic, nor does it make me anti-Israel, but in fact, it makes me human. They can call me what they want, but I will never act like there is nothing going on. This further became a police matter, and although all the advice was to simply just shut my Twitter down, I was not ready to lose. With pain comes learning, and with the support of my family and my friends, I rose to the challenge. I was determined not to fall. They were not going to win, and it's proved that they helped me to have my voice heard as far and beyond as I could imagine. So thank you. No one will ever silence me, and I will shout louder about the plight of my people. November 1917. What right did Britain have to give away my homeland? Why do they think it's okay to simply just organise people's lives like that? And why do people still question the existence of Palestine when it's pretty clear from the Balfour Declaration that it existed and it was stolen from its owners? Palestine is my country, my land and my home. Their pain is my pain and their freedom is my freedom. And they deserve political freedom. This aggression, this oppression whilst I still maintain a dream to even visit my homeland for the first time. My homeland was not Balfour's to so casually grant to someone else. Britain had no right to destroy lives, leaving them to deal with isolation, discrimination and social exclusion, as well as all the other injustices faced. Haven't our people faced enough? Being dispersed into exile, evicted from their homes, separated from families, mothers losing their children, wives being left as widows and children being left as orphans? It became a place where living was almost illegal. And Balfour has served as a reminder of suffering for Palestinians during many years of occupation. This year marks 100 years of settler colonialism since the inception of the Balfour Declaration in 1917. Palestinians have had to deal with such isolation, discrimination and social exclusion for 100 years under Israeli policies. Israeli policies which are a form of apartheid. Currently, there are more than 80 laws that directly discriminate against the Palestinian minority in all aspects of their lives, including political, criminal and economic. As a young British Palestinian student activist, and before entering the Jack Petrie Speak Out competition, I was always very surprised at the fact that not many people knew my country. And my aim was to firstly educate. So this began by telling my friends, following on to classmates, year groups, and then I was lucky enough to have the platform to educate many by joining the Jack Petrie Speak Out competition. And I'm so grateful that I managed to educate many about the ongoing situation in my country, as many were clueless of it. So whether it was geography, and we were studying countries in the Middle East, Palestine was never mentioned. Whether it was history, and we were studying conflict around the world, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict was never mentioned. And whether it was RE, and we were studying evil and suffering, those suffering in Palestine were never mentioned. So how would you feel if I told you that these Palestinians now live their lives referring to themselves as forgotten people? Forgotten men, forgotten women and forgotten children. But no, they are not forgotten, because Palestine exists. Palestinians exist. And despite not being shown on the media and being wiped off the map, Palestine and all those suffering are in the hearts of many of us around the world today. If it wasn't for my parents who taught me about my country and my culture, I would have been blinded to my true identity. I personally feel that we are limited to the knowledge taught about this, and I feel that students and schools should educate students about this. The students should feel as if they're learning something that actually educates them about the ongoing situation in our world today. And we deserve better than that. Palestine deserves better than that. We deserve recognition of our state. We deserve a public apology from the British government. And most importantly, we deserve political freedom. I encourage all students and young people to speak out, stand up and speak the truth and stand for justice. We will never be too young to have our voice heard for something that we truly believe in. And that is why I will continue boycotting, protesting, and most importantly, educating. Because education is the power for our future. And children are our future. Yet Israel denies Palestinians this right every single day. But like any other child, they should have the right to education. Every child deserves the right to survive and thrive and live their lives free from fear. So what is childhood? A time for growth, joy, and love? But not for the children of Palestine, who only know fear, anger, and oppression. To see your mother in pain, to miss a close call of death, to witness the imprisonment of your innocent father, is just another day in the life of a Palestinian child. Children are imprisoned and tortured, settlements continue to grow, and kids continue to face extremely dangerous walks on their way to school. But the most disturbing aspect of this all is the silence of our world. The Israeli occupation victims' target are always children, the weakest and the most vulnerable. Palestinian children are treated in ways that would traumatize and terrify an adult. So 2016 was the deadliest year for Palestinian children in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, according to the International Defence for Children. And over 50% of the 1.8 million population of Gaza are children, all severely traumatized as Israel's attacks continue, as they are under occupation. The lives of Palestinian children are nothing but fear, humiliation and rage. Everything is a burden. But Palestinian children should die with memories and not dreams. They deserve to grow up with human rights, dignity and a future free of repression. We should respect the human rights of all Palestinians and especially Palestinian children because children are our future. The children who've had their rights unjustly stripped away from them but who will never back down and will someday take back what is rightfully theirs. Palestinian children being arrested and imprisoned as young as the age of 11 is morally reprehensible and legally indefensible. It is time to stop the oppression and allow the people, particularly the children, a chance to heal. And in my opinion, even if the elderly died, the children will never forget. I stand in front of you today as evidence that children will never forget and it still affects us today. We will never forget Palestine until hide and seek is no longer a matter of life or death for children, but again, we will never forget Palestine until children are running on fields flying kites and not running to protect themselves from missiles and bombs. We will never forget Palestine until children are growing up learning how to ride the bike instead of learning how to run and hide from rockets being shot in their neighbourhoods. We will never forget Palestine until we enter a free Palestine. Their main target is to make us forget it, to disattach us from it. But Palestine will never be forgotten. We are the generation that will return to Palestine. We still resist, we have not forgotten, and we shall return. Return is our right and our will. I stand with all oppressed groups around the world, and I support Palestine, because no one should have to live under constant fear of being killed, arrested, or tortured just because they are Palestinian. I support Palestine because I believe in basic human rights. I believe in equality, justice and peace, and I just wish that we all had the same beliefs. We will not be silenced, and we will continue to speak out until they have justice. And together, our numbers make us stronger, our evidence makes us wiser, but our partnership is what makes us more powerful. We should never be afraid to raise our voices for truth, honesty and compassion against injustice, lying and greed. If all people would do this, it would honestly change the world. Their battle is our battle, and we can't let them go through it alone. Although we may not witness this on the media, this is everyday reality in occupied Palestine. This is what the media doesn't want to show you. But we mustn't stay silent. When we stay silent, we choose to support the oppressive acts of injustice. We must speak up to gain awareness and spread the message of the reality of Palestine and support the oppressed and not the oppressors. We must all wake up, speak up, and stand up as one. Because in the end, one voice can make a difference. But our voices joined together can make a change. And together, we can make that change.
Have you got the book of what's on? What time there? Thank you. I forgot to pick mine up outside. I need to get it back. Where's the timings? Here we are. Oh God, I should have bought glasses, shouldn't I? Churchill. I don't know what prescription you are.
Well,
where are we now?
mild.
We're 120.
No, that's John Pilger next.
Oh yeah, there we are.
That's what it is. She just said,
Yeah.
I think
12. Is that 125? Yeah. Okay, cool.
No,
I won't bother going out then.
About 5 minutes.